Okay then, let's get this week's road ride rolling along as we try something a little different, sampling two cruisers from the middleweight V-twin category at the same time. Stepping into the ring, we have Honda's custom-styled, liquid-cooled, 745cc twin-carbureted Shadow Spirit. While over in the other lane, we sample Suzuki's classic detailed, 805cc single-carbureted Volusia Intruder. Meanwhile, handling the riding duties, this week we also tried something different, as we invited along two women straight out of riding school. One was already a Spirit owner, the other shopping for her first new bike. Here's what each had to say after sampling both machines.
When you hear 800cc, you think, oh my goodness, when you learned on a 200cc bike. But riding them, they're really, the size doesn't scare you. They respond really well.
Yeah, the hardest part, I think, is getting over the intimidation factor of first getting on it. And then once you ride it, I mean, there's no comparison to those bikes that we learned on. These are so much more responsive. The clutch and the gears are much easier to deal with. So, yeah.
I don't think the numbers intimidated us at all.
But this one has a better rumble to it.
Yes,
than
definitely.
This one, and I like that.
Yeah. I like the fact that this has the gas gauge, that like you mentioned earlier. That's important. And the speedometer is easier to read on the Suzuki.
Yeah, it's a
lot
bigger.
bigger numbers, and when you're new and not quite sure, a quick glance will tell you exactly what you're doing.
Well, this bike appears visually as a bigger bike. Once you get on it, I think you're sitting pretty well the same height. So again, if you're a short woman, it's not necessarily a problem holding the bike up. I don't know what the weight is of both bikes, but I believe this one is a bit heavier. But the way it handles, that doesn't seem to be a concern, or the weight difference isn't enough that it really affected the ride of the bike.
Definitely not. This is, I feel that this is definitely a heavier bike, but not heavier so that it hinders your manageability with it. I didn't get any vibration from the Suzuki at all. The rumble's nice. It's got like a growl to it that, again, going back to your girly bike thing, you know, a girly bike wouldn't have a growl to it, which is really nice. I like the sound of a mean bike, and you definitely hear this one coming.
It had more noise, and that sort of added to the enjoyment of the actual ride. Actually, I would like the Honda to be a little bit louder as well. That would make this bike even more attractive for me.
The one thing I enjoyed about the Suzuki was the adjustable brake lever. With the Shadow, I actually had to adjust the whole brake lever up and down to accommodate for my small hands. With the Suzuki, I was able just to turn the adjustment, and it was done in a few seconds. They both look great. Like I said earlier, the chrome attracts me to the Honda. But the one thing I like about the Suzuki is the no chain. It's a shaft driven, so less maintenance in a way, but it's also got a cleaner look at the back. You don't have the chain.
They're both beautiful bikes. I mean, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with having either one of these in my garage.
I really wish I had the opportunity to ride more bikes before I made my purchase. Sitting on one in the showroom definitely does not give you the true feel of how the bike's going to ride on the road. And had I had the opportunity to ride more bikes, I could very well have made a different decision in my purchase of the bike.
I really want more of an educated purchase, so I'm going to take every opportunity I can to ride, and so I know exactly what I want when I do buy it.